Hi greedy 3Ders. Now who doesn't like a giant ant? Well, I love giant ants and I actually wrote 2 books about them here, but enough of that shameless plug. Today we're going to be looking at this. This is what I've made today. This is a giant ant of kinds. It's Ant-Man and it's from Wicked, and I'll show you how I made it today and how I painted it and put it together. Stay tuned. Now, as usual, I'm going to be giving it an undercoat, a prime of some matte black, and this is the matte black Air from the Iommi painter, and I'm just giving it a spurious coat all over, making sure that I get into all the nooks and crannies. Now, you may think that ants are black, and from a distance they do look black, but you get a little bit close to old Lasius niger, the black ant, and you'll see he's actually a little bit brown. So, although we're giving it a base layer of black, I'm going to be giving it an undertone of brown as well, which we will come to, but make sure you give him a really good coat. And there's old Ant-Man himself, Mr. Pym, or is it Scott Lang? Who knows, but it's one of them, and we're going to give him a base layer too. Now, as I said, the ants are going to have a baseline of brown, and I'm using some rawhide here just to touch him up. Now, I'm not going to completely cover him over in brown. That is not the plan. I want to give him some shades and I want to give him some depth. And if you look at an ant, and especially in the Ant-Man film as well, they have actually got them brown. You'll see that there's some layers of black in there as well. So I'm just going to go around his abdomen and all over him, and I'm not going to touch everywhere. I'm just going to shade him, and I'm going to use a little bit of my eye and a little bit of artistic impression, and I'm just going to give him some brown. Again, not making him brown all over, just adding areas as you can see there. Now, when I'm happy, I'm going to give him a lighter coat of this from the Iommi painter, old Bulwark. And again, I'm just going to touch certain areas of him. I'm not going to go all over. I'm going to shade him. And that, once it's done, I'm happy with the colour of. And there is my black ant, or my brown ant, as it happens to be. Now, going on to the base I wanted to really stand out, so I've just used some of this bright red spray, and that's not the final look of the base. It took a bit of time to put together. I've got to be honest, it was a little bit intricate of a build here, but I'm really pleased how that's all came out. And just to top it off, I'm going to get some gemstone, again from the mega set from Iommi Painter, and I'm just going to metallic-y over some of those molecules there. Is that even a word, metallic-y? It is now. I'm going to just go over those just to shine them up and give them a little bit of a brightening. And that's pretty much the base done, apart from a little bit of dry brushing later. Now, taking some of my silver, some shining silver, I'm going to paint his seat. Now, his seat on the ant is obviously a nice shiny colour, so I'm just going to give that a bit of a once over. What you didn't see off camera was I've got my glasses on, my high spec magnification glasses, and I just made sure I got all the nooks and crannies of it as well. But I was quite happy how that all came out. Now, don't forget, subscribe to the channel if you like what you see. There's lots and lots of new videos coming, and there's lots of videos in the archive. If you want to check some of them out, really would be appreciated. Taking a little bit of abysmal black, and I'm going to just give his eyes a little bit of a once over. Now, an ant's eyes are kaleidoscopic, and they are nice and dark and black, as you can see, and I really wanted those to stick out on the model here. So I've took my time and I've just gone over it. Now, one thing I did do at the end of all this painting that I don't think I caught was I gave it a high gloss shine in some gloss spray, and I made sure that those eyes had a really good blast of it too. I really wanted those to shine and stand out. His legs on the base, the base forms part of his legs, so you'd really need to touch up the leg bits, and I've just gone over them with a bit of black, and that's all I've done with them really, and they look great. Now, for Ant-Man himself, I haven't bored you with the whole process, but here you can see I just used a reference picture, some red, some silver, and that was pretty much it. And I've coloured him in and I've painted him. It was a little bit of an intricate paint job, and it took a little bit of time, but I'm really pleased how he's come out. We mentioned the dry brushing right at the start on the base, and I'm just going to dry brush some silver all the way across it, across the emblem at the front, and across some of those molecules, just to give it a final touch really, just to liven it up a little bit. I really love the base, and I've done it red because I really want this to stand out. I don't want it to look basic, I don't want it to be missed, I want it to look really good against the ant. Now, the wings of the ant, I used some Elegoo translucent, not the water washable, the normal, and these have come out absolutely absolutely beautiful. Now the build of this was difficult. The legs were complicated. Getting the wings to stay was a nightmare, I'm not going to lie. So I used some glue, and I also used some resin welding, and I've done a video on resin welding here that you can have a look at. And using the two things, glue and resin welding, really did help the wings stay in place, but without the welding I had some real problems. Now once I've tacked the wings in place with a toothpick and using my ultraviolet light, I got a brush, an old brush that I didn't want anymore, and I made a few more thicker paint lines down the join, and I sealed it and cured it, and I did it a couple of times, and that just added to the strength of it. Thank God the wings are on. Let's have a look at him. Let's see what you think.